What's up, Atumbo? It's the captain here, Triple Star. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can create your own channel icon using GIMP, and this is by far the best, well, not the best, but this is my recommended method for creating a channel icon. So first thing you want to know is how to start, how to get started. So click File, click New, and then you want to set your resolution to 1000 by 1000. There's no need to make it larger, and there's not necessarily any need to make it smaller. So click OK, then you will get this. So what you need to know is whatever is the color behind here will be the color for your background. So if it is white, it'll be white. You can just double click that and you can change it whenever, and if it is blue, it will be blue. You can double click and change that. So in the event that you want it to have a different color, like let's say white, you can just click the bucket tool and change the color. But for now, I'm just gonna keep using the white. Okay, so before you get started, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a secondary layer, and that layer, you can create that by going to File, and then you can create a new layer. So you can go to Layer, you can create a new layer, or you can press Ctrl, Shift, and N. You can rename it. I'm going to give it the black here, and I'm going to name this Circle. Now, from Circle, you want to head up to the top here, and you want to go to this Ellipse Select tool, and from the top left, or whichever corner you want to start from, you want to hit one vertex to the other, like this. Doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. It can be a bit smaller, but I'd recommend you try to get it from edge to edge. Then from here, you want to click Select, and you want to click Invert. Then you want to go down here, and you want to switch the color, then switch to the bucket tool. Then you want to click in this side here, and what it will do is it will give you this outline of a circle. On YouTube, this is usually the way that you see the channels within a circle. So whenever you create a channel logo, it will be in a circle, so the edges won't matter. So the space that you need to work with should be right in here. So repeat, just do that step. Add the colors here. You can use whatever color you want. I'm just using white because it is easier on the eyes, I guess. So that's what you want to do. Okay, so I've switched to this rectangle select tool. If you click outside of the canvas here, it will stop selecting the outside, and then you can switch back to the move tool or whatever tool you want. Now, before you start creating your thumbnails, there are a few things that you need. First, you need to have a design in your head. Second, you need to have a color scheme in your head. And third, you need to decide how big or how small you want to make this icon. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to make my icon be a simple A. I can click on the font tool here, click A, and then I just have to stretch it a bit. Change the color, probably make it black or purple. Then I'll just press A. So now I have A. I can either left click and hold and drag across, or I can press Ctrl and A to highlight all of that. Go to this section right here, and then I can change the size of this A. Now if I should click this end or either of these ends that is highlighted yellow, what will happen is it will snap and resize to the size of the text. So all I have to do now is to just perfectly align this to the size that I want. So that's the A right there. Okay, so another thing that you can do to make this process a little bit more easier for you is you can click from any one of these points and you can drag a line to the center where it says 500, and then you can drag another one. This is why we use 1000 by 1000, because then it's easier to center it. If you want to do the math, then that's fine. So now I can actually find where the center of this image is to know how to center my logo. Now, if I want to make alterations to this text, I can copy this text by right-clicking and duplicating the layer, or I can just make all my edits to this layer. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool, and I'm going to go all the way over here. If you hold Control and rotate your scroll wheel forward, it will zoom. This will give you a more detailed look at what you're doing, and you can rotate the scroll wheel out to zoom out. So by doing so, I can now switch to my erase tool, which is this tool right here, and then I can erase sections of this text. Now, I have done that. I have made a small alteration to this, which in my opinion makes the logo already look much better because it looks a bit different. So it's not a huge enough change to not let you notice that it's an A, but it's not a small enough change for it to seem like something else. So you can also use this free select tool, and I can zoom in, start from one point here, scroll all the way back down to this point here, and then I can go back up here again. And then I can also use the erase tool again to remove a chunk from here. So now I have two different things that I have done to this. If you go back to the font tool and you should click it, it will ask you if you want to create a new layer or edit. If you click edit, it will undo all the changes that you have done to this, and it will go back to the standard A. But I don't want to do that, so I'll just click cancel. And then from here, all I have to do now is to continue my edits. Now, the reason why I use solid colors is because when you're on YouTube, this is what most persons normally see. They normally see an image roughly this size if they're on mobile, and majority of persons will be on mobile. So they'll see an image this size. So if I should move these out of the way because I found the center, this will be what my logo will look like. So you don't want to overcomplicate your logo, add in things like fur, glitter, or any other minor details that can only be seen up close, because this is most likely what they're going to see. They're going to see either an image roughly this size, and if they're on PC, they'll see something around this size. So you don't want to put too much details into these logos. So once you've gotten the general shape of your logo, now you have two choices. You can either export this as a JPEG or as a PNG. I recommend exporting this as a PNG, as you get a higher quality with the PNG than you would with the JPEG. Also, you can easily get two images from this as well. So I'll show you what I mean. So if I should click this eye right here, this will make this layer become invisible, and now I have only the A standing there. So if I should go to File and then click Export As, or Control Shift and E, I can now change the name of this. And as you can see, there's the dot extension at the back here, which is .jpeg. So if I should click A and change this from .jpeg to .png, this now becomes a PNG file. Now I can just click export, and it will be exported as a PNG. Now in the same breath, you can use this to create a watermark. I would do a separate video on that, but I might as well just tell you how to do that here, because it's a lot easier to just tell you how to do the watermark here than to create a whole separate video, because you'd basically do the same process, except you would click this here to make it invisible. And now that you have an invisible layer, the entire background is also invisible as well. So if you were to export this as a JPEG, you would get either a plain black background or a plain white background. It would not be transparent. So you have to export it as a JPEG in order to get it transparent. Now, before you do export it, there are a few tricks that you can do. One, you can control the opacity right here to make it as transparent as you like or as opaque as you like. I personally prefer to make it a bit opaque or as much opaque as I possibly can to highlight the logo. If the logo is a big logo that does take up a lot of space, I do recommend making it as transparent as you possibly can. That way it's more of a, it's not an obstruction for your audience and more of a complement to the video. So once you've gotten this done, you only have to press Control Shift E, or you can go to Export As, and then you can click A2, or if you want to be more technical, you can click A and export it as a watermark. I'm using shortcut naming, so WTR for water and W and MRK for mark. So that would be watermark. I would click export and then I would export that. So when doing it that way, what I have now is I also have a logo and I have a channel icon. So that would be what the channel icon would look like. That's the logo and also the watermark. So I can add this to any piece of media or any piece of branding that I would be doing for this channel. And it would work just the same because the background is transparent. So now I have a background that I can add to anything and I won't have to go through and rotoscope or remove any of the background. So that's basically it on how you can create your own custom icon. Again, if you want to use shapes or whatever, you can add them into the editor. If you want me to show you how to edit up existing photo to create an icon or a background or a wallpaper or even a thumbnail, please let me know. I'll be doing that video quite soon. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications to get notified every single time I drop a video or I do a live stream. And if you want more videos like this, I will be creating a playlist so you can watch these videos in order to help you get your channel started. This is Triple S Storm. Stay one better Atumbo and take care.